I should start by saying, are you sitting comfortably? Because I'm not. My boat has a central heating system comprising 4 radiators, and it is powered by a Webasto Thermo Top C diesel heater. I've owned the boat for 6 years. I've never had any trouble with the heater. I have asked various engineers over the years whether it should be serviced, and all the time I get the same answer: if it's working, leave it alone. Well, unfortunately, it's not working anymore. I'm Alan. I own a 45-foot narrowboat, have an interest in industrial heritage, transport and technology, and invite you to join me as I cruise, repair and maintain my boat, and visit events and places of historic interest. Just before Christmas it started to play up a bit and wasn't firing up. It has a special procedure for firing up. It takes about 5 minutes or so. It has a system to check that it's safe to come on. The fan will come on, the pump will come on. They will both speed up at varying times, and it will give 2 attempts at starting. So if the first attempt fails, it will automatically try again. And I've been having this problem, and it's been a little bit intermittent. Sometimes it will fire up and sometimes it won't. The central heating is controlled by a programmer just inside the cabin. The output of the heater is 5.2 kilowatts. I'm not an expert. This is the first time I've done anything like this. I've done a lot of studying the last few days online. I've looked at forums, I've looked at YouTube videos, I've looked at the workshop manual and various sorts of manuals that Webasto produce. And the thought is, it may possibly be the glow plug, which is also the flame sensor. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to disconnect the heater from its various pipes and so forth, the diesel feed, the water pipes, the electrical cables, detach the exhaust, that sort of thing. And then I'm going to uninstall it from the boat so it can go on the workbench. Not that I've got a workbench, I understand. First, I think I'll just show you the constituent parts that make up the assembly of the heater. I should say that this is not an instructional video. I've never done this before. It should be fairly straightforward to disconnect all the pipe work and so forth, take the heater off its mount and disassemble it. And a fellow boater is going to come over and assist me once I've got to that stage. Someone who is electrically competent, more so than I am, let's put it that way. So I'm looking forward to having that extra help and guidance a bit later on in the process. I think now I'll show you the constituent parts of the assembly, as it were, so that you know what's what and where it is. None of these parts need to be disconnected to remove and dismantle the heater. This pipe is the hot water outlet. The pipe beneath is the return pipe. This is the air inlet pipe. The exhaust is underneath here, and this narrow pipe coming into here is the diesel feed. So all these need to be disconnected together with the exhaust pipe. This is another of those jobs where it's going to be difficult to film. I do need to concentrate on what I'm doing. I will just show you these hose pipe clamps that I've bought. I bought a pair of these. This will prevent me from needing to drain down the whole system, hopefully. I'll clamp these on to the pipes so there shouldn't be any loss of water. I've never used anything like this before, so I'll be interested to see how easy they are to use. So I'm going to crack on now and I'll report as I go along. I'm going to start by removing the air inlet and then the exhaust. This is just a single Jubilee clip. And there it is. I'm removing the exhaust pipe which connects to the silencer. That's got it. I'm now going to remove the diesel inlet pipe. I don't think anything should spill out of here. I've just put some paper down just in case. I've just loosened off the second clip as well. This is a very tight fit on here. I'm managing to wiggle it off a little bit. Just about to come. Excellent. I'm pleased about that. I'm now going to clamp the two water pipes and disconnect those. On reflection, I think tapered rubber bungs would have done the same job. That was straightforward. Sort of feels as though it should be tighter though, but they're as tight as they can be. I'm getting there slowly. The next thing to do is remove the two electrical clips from the top of the unit. I couldn't actually unclip the two electrical connectors at the top because the unit was too close to the steel deck. I couldn't get my hand in. One of the clips needed pressing in on both sides and the other just needed pressing in on one side, and I couldn't do that. So at that point I called for help and I asked Pete, a fellow boater, to come and join me. He's very experienced in all sorts of things, boating and electrical. So whilst he was popping over, I actually looked at how the unit was mounted. The Webasto is bolted to this mounting plate, and this mounting plate is bolted to a large steel plate welded into the boat. So I thought I'd look at this to see how easy it would be to take this off. And you can see there are 4 mounting points. The one at the bottom wasn't actually being used. Have I got this around the right way? The one at the bottom wasn't being used, so there were 3, and they were all secured with brass bolts. I thought they were self-tapping screws to start with, but anyway, I thought I'd slacken these off, ready for us to take the unit off, and I could slacken this one and this one, but the one on the top left, as I looked at it this way, it was just too tight. So what I had to do was knock the bolt head off with a cold chisel and a club hammer, and that worked a treat. Once Peter joined me, we decided to detach the 2 water pipes. The actual red clips, this is a smaller version of the red clips, the actual red clips weren't closing off the pipe in quite the way I had hoped, so I used 2 large ones and 2 medium ones. This is a smaller one. They're designed just to clip on the pipe like that, and you push this and you tighten it up with this slider. So we got those off. The pipes are low pressure. Water did come out of the heater unit as expected, and we did lose a little bit of water from the pipes, but basically all was well. It wasn't a disaster or anything like that. Having got the unit off, we had a quick look at it and then we dismantled it. It wasn't so easy to film with the 2 of us, so I just took still shots so I could explain to you what we were doing. This is the heater attached to its mount. We had to disconnect the electrical clips to take it apart and gain access to the burner unit.
This is the glow plug flame sensor. Its resistance was tested and found to be outside the recommended level. You can see the carbon deposits inside the combustion chamber, some of which are thick and crusty. We're now looking at the worn-out burner mat, which is part of the reason for failure of the burner. These are the various parts of the heater.
I am now the proud owner of a kit of parts. It's about 3:30, the sun is going down. Pete, my fellow boater, has been with me for some hours. I didn't note the time when he arrived, but I'm very, very grateful for his help so far. We've done the disassembly. Now I need to order the part. What we have established is that the burner needs to be replaced. This is the burner unit. In the top here is set the glow plug, which also has the flame sensor as part of it. And the burner mat inside here has completely gone, it's burnt away. And the other thing to note is the combustion chamber, I think that's what this is called, is really coked up. So through another part they all connect together. You'll see when I put it back together how it all works, but that's where I'm at the moment. The Webasto heater is mounted on this plate. It has 4 mounting points, only 3 were being used, and I thought they were self-tapping screws originally, but they turned out to be nut and bolts. And this is one of the bolts, I don't know if you can see that. There were 3 of these, one of them in the top left corner as you face the unit this way. We just couldn't slacken off, so we had to resolve to using this. I had to bang the head off it, and then we managed to get the unit free. The swan has just come to visit. Just going to go and feed the swans for a moment. I'll come back to you. Sorry about that. What I now need to do is order a replacement burner unit which will come complete with the glow plug and flame sensor. It will also include new gaskets. Some are sort of paper and one is rubber, new screws, a new little sort of bypass hose for the pump, various other little bits. But there is something else that I need to inquire about, which is a square rubber seal. That isn't in the kit. There's a few other bits as well that I'll make inquiries about. The price of the new burner unit is about £300. So I'll be sorting that out in the next few days, and then we'll be sorting out the reassembly. Looking forward to it. I need to clean up these parts. They are aluminium, so you have to be very careful. Also in here, this is quite dirty in here, so I need to clean all that out. The ECU is in the top here. There's no need for me to touch that. Hopefully that's all okay. We've established what the fault is with the unit, and we're going to fix it. Having broken the head off the bolt, the remainder of the bolt is still in the hole, so I need to drill that out. So I'll do that as a separate exercise. I've had enough for one day. I'm going to leave it there for now. Once I get the spare parts, I'll chat to you again. Just found a box to put everything in. It's best to keep everything together. No holes in this box, so nothing will go missing. I'm now going to drill out the broken bolt. First of all, I'm going to hit it with a punch just to see if I can form a recess or a key for the drill bit so it doesn't slide off. I've just bent the drill. I've never ever bent a drill before. I've snapped them, but to bend a drill is quite unusual for me. Progress is very slow. I'm using an old cordless hammer drill. I think it really needs replacing. The batteries just don't have enough oomph in them. I have got an electric drill. I'm going to stop now, have some lunch, give my knees a rest, and then start after that. I've got my electric drill out now, so I'm going to start again. Let's hope it's fairly quick this time. Well, that was through in no time at all. The magic of the electric drill. I need to look at the size of the hole, see if I need to enlarge it. I'll see if I can find a suitable nut and bolt to go in its place. I think I need to do a bit more drilling because the remains of the bolt is still in the threaded part behind. I've made a big enough hole for either of these to go through. This is slightly fatter and shorter. This one is actually too long. Ideally could do with a shorter one of these. There is some metal from the old bolt behind sticking out. I need to try and get rid of that. We're trying to bang it off, didn't work. I've got a couple of rasps here which I'm going to use. That's quite rough, that one. I've got this one. Through using a combination of drilling, rasping and filing with little files like this, I've managed to open up the hole. I've also found a slightly shorter bolt, and I bring it in from the back and I've bolted it on. I think it would be easier to do it that way, and we can either put the plate over the top of the bolt that's there and then bolt up, or we can take the nut off this side, which is easy to access, and put that straight on and then put the nut back. So hopefully we can sort that out when we reassemble. It's taken a lot longer than I had imagined today. I should have got my electric drill out first, but it's tucked away, and to get it out I have to move so many other bits and pieces, but it would have been a lot quicker just to have found that electric drill. Anyway, that's it for now. I have now received the new Webasto burner for my heater. It comes complete with a gasket set and some new screws. There's a new short hose pipe for connecting the pump, and a choice of Jubilee clips or these sprung clips. Another pack of screws as well. And the actual burner is mounted in cellophane, so I'm leaving that alone for now. I'll get that out at the time we need to use it. Actually, having thought about it, I think the Jubilee clips are for the water hoses and the sprung clips for this short pipe that connects to the pump. I'm now going to clean the combustion chamber and the burner housing. I've been recommended to use a brake cleaner, and I have bought one. I don't want to use anything too abrasive. I've got some old toothbrushes here. So I'm going to make a start on that now. I need to be careful what I'm doing, don't want to damage anything. Let's see how I get on. I've also got some paint brushes as well. I'll get the excess carbon off first.
This is the groove where one of the rubber seals goes in, so it's important to have that clean. I'm just shaking the brake cleaner. I'll give it a spray now. Let's see how this goes. You're meant to use this in a well ventilated area. Oops. It's looking good. I'm not quite sure how clean I'm expecting it to get. It is looking better. I'm quite pleased with how this is coming along. It's going to look a lot better when I've finished. I'll spray some on the other side. It's not so dirty though, it's not burnt or anything. Put this to one side now. Make a start on this. In the top here is the ECU, so I need to be careful of that. Let's give it a clean up with this little brush to start with. I'm using this little pick to get into these narrow channels here. There's some crusty pieces that need to be loosened up. I'm going to put some clear tape around here to keep it dry. That's the plan anyway. Put that there. I'm going to spray inside here now. This does evaporate very quickly. That's it for now. I'll show you another time just how I got on with the cleaning. Having said that, it doesn't appear that I took any photos of the cleaned items, which is quite surprising given the number of photos I took whilst working on the heater. Today is the day we're going to reassemble the heater. It's very, very windy outside. We've had sun all week, but we're not expecting any today. And it's very chilly. Just to let you know, when we took the heater off, this is the mounting plate that was actually on the heater. It appeared that one of the bolts was missing in this bottom right corner here, but it had actually broken off, and I have managed to get that out now by turning it from behind and then using a mole grip at the front. I was able to withdraw that, and I've got a new bolt to go there. I'm refitting the two water seals into the corners. Unfortunately, I've not been able to get new ones, but these aren't perished. It's gone in there. Then of course this goes on here.
Does that fit in the...
Yeah, it fits in this one, doesn't it?
Yeah.
I've cleaned the recess out as best as I can. That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
We're going to use the original 4 screws. They're not in very good condition, unfortunately. I'm going to put some Vaseline on them to start with. I'm going to screw them in slowly, one by one. Let's not use that one first. They're all a bit damaged, aren't they? There is no replacement kit for these screws, unfortunately. Just do them loose to start with. I'm using a Torx screwdriver. I'll just take up the slack on all of them. Don't really want to go much more than that, to be honest.
Yeah, it looks good, doesn't it?
Is that the way? No, it doesn't go that way. Let's go that way.
Try that, that's it, yeah.
Good. So the next part is literally just to slot this in. I'll just take a picture of the inside of the burner there, or the burner mat. So we've done everything, haven't we?
Yes.
I did note somewhere that some of the threads weren't actually perfect. Let's just do this one.
The screws are like a self-tappery sort of thing, aren't they? They're very coarse thread.
Yeah, this one feels tight as well. Yeah, I did notice the threads weren't in particular brilliant order. I don't think we've got much choice other than to just put them in.
That's it.
Put a bit of Vaseline on, do you think?
Try a little bit of that, yeah.
I don't think there's much we can do about it, is there?
Not really. That's probably why that chap
just
said be very careful not to over tighten them. They probably strip out the threads quite easily.
Ah, it's gone in straight this time. That went straight in. Just tweak them up a bit, yeah? Just like that.
Yep. Yours had the rubber one, didn't it?
There's a ridge underneath here, and there's a rib there.
That one's not used.
Should we put some...
Yeah, put a smear of Vaseline around it.
A new grommet is provided in the kit for the fuel pipe to pass through. Easy to cross thread, you know. Gotta be very careful.
Yeah,
Is that one down?
I think so.
This feels tight already. Let's just see what that's looking like.
That sits on there.
This is the water pump being refitted. I can't do that with the... That has to be swung around.
Swung around. That's it, you got it.
So we've got a new one of these to put on. Just slide that on here like this. Excellent. We really need to put the clips on first,
We've
don't
got to
we?
put the clips on first.
Yes, we
yeah,
just need to sort out the angle. Sprung clips can be a bit tricky. You need to get a firm hold of them. Otherwise, they can flick off anywhere. That's enough.
That's it. Yes, that'll do nicely.
Okay. Yep, that's a nice snug fit there. That's got it.
That's it. I think that's got it, that's it.
A single screw holds the pump strap in place. And that's soon done. I'm spraying the sockets with an electrical cleaner. So these are ready to go back, are they?
Yeah, that one
comes up here.
That slot, doesn't it?
They've got little marks in them so they can be identified. Actually, I wonder if that's that one. Yeah. Excellent. They're nicely in. And this one goes in here, yeah?
Yep.
This cover clips on here. Excellent. All looking good. It's tightened up really well. We're getting on very well. We're just going to have a coffee break and then we'll go down into the engine bay and refit the heater.
That's that done.
We're just reattaching the diesel fuel line. We've now fully refitted the heater. I've put some coolant into the expansion tank and we're ready to start up. Some of you may have noticed that we didn't show the full assembly procedure. The reason for that is that at the time I was only using one camera
and it stopped working, and I didn't spot it. So we missed part of that, but I don't think we missed an important part. So what happened when we started up? Well, it did fire up, which was a very good start. Pete was in the engine bay, as it were, watching, and I was inside the cabin looking at the expansion tank. I noticed when it started up, the water level didn't drop at all, which it should have done if it was going to pump water into the unit. So no water was pumping into the unit. It ran for about 6 minutes. It did its start-up cycle of the fan and the pump coming on, and they gradually sped up like they usually do. But after 6 minutes, it just stopped. Normally, it will restart again. It will do 2 starts and then fail, if you like, if it's not going to start on the second occasion. So it stopped on the first occasion, and we waited for the combustion chamber to cool down. It got very hot. And then I remembered that to reset the heater, you need to take out the 20 amp fuse. So we removed the fuse, waited about 30 seconds or more, refitted the fuse, started it up, and all was well. It worked, and it's been working since. I can't actually show you it working because hot radiators look the same whether they're hot or cold. But we got it going, and I'm so pleased about that, and I'm very, very grateful for Pete's help. We're very lucky to have him here in the marina. He's always willing to help moorers, which is lovely to see. So that's it. You've seen me disconnect the heater, dismantle the heater, work on the heater in association with Pete, reassemble it, refit it, and it's working. It's wonderful. What more could I want? All that remains for me to say is that I hope you've enjoyed watching. Look after yourselves, your friends and families, in whatever you're doing. Take the utmost care. Until next time, bye for now. Bye everyone. Take care.